Ajanta Pharma has posted 3,300 crore turnover in financial year 2022 and a net profit of more than 700 crore.
This company is a public limited company having more than 6,500 employees and having presence in more than 50 countries.
We have almost 30% of our sales from domestic market as well as 70% from export market.
And now we have almost 7 manufacturing sites within India, and all of our products are getting into stringent regulated markets, including USA.
The pharma industry has been facing a chronic conflict in the way its operation and supply chain is managed. On the one hand, the continuous demand variations expect that the planning and scheduling methods should be very agile. But the industry cannot afford to do that simply because there is extremely continuous margin pressure from US and other export markets.
10 years ago, we can count the number of Indian companies over there in US market. But right now, they have all entered into it with a lot of products portfolios.
So recently, US market has seen mega consolidation deals involving large wholesale distributors. This resulted into emergence of few large pharmacies that together controls nearly 85% of the US market.
But on the other hand, the operations is very rigid and inflexible. So to extract maximum efficiencies, a firm and stable plan is sought.
Or across the globe, they have stringent guidelines to set the quality norms for pharmaceutical production.
We have different routes where the product will move. Suppose one product will move from A, B, C, D, or one product will move from A, D, F, Z, something that different routes are there.
So what happens is people adopt some kind of a monthly rolling plan system which agrees on some freezing period. But this system does not work in most of the cases. So end result is a vicious loop of problems on all fronts, internal as well as external.
पहले के इसमें कैसा था कि हम डिस्पेंसिंग करते थे, तो हम जो इमीडिएट जैसे हम वर्क सेंटर है उसको देख के ही डिस्पेंसिंग करते, जैसे ग्रैनुलेशन, अगर इमीडिएट मेरा ग्रैनुलेशन है तो ग्रैनुलेशन अगर मेरा आइडल है, खाली है, तो मैं डिस्पेंस कर लेता। तो उसमें क्या होता था, आगे जाके मुझे पता नहीं रहता था कि वो कोटिंग में ओवरलोड कर रहा है।
When we have the overload situation, definitely the WIP at particular stations or different stations will pile up, and we are short of the space for that purpose. Even the turnaround time will not be good.
And if we cross that the whole time, then there are again guidelines how to take care of that batch.
So the time wastage is done on the multiple change in the planning, and that is leading to low productivity.
And that's why the servicing of the orders were more than 120 days.
The transit time in sea is like 7 to 8 weeks. So the only possibility is sending it by air, and you'll end up in paying like 5 to 6 times more the freight.
On time in full was calculated, but it was definitely always less than 50 or say around 50.
We never used to satisfy or we never used to deliver the product on time to the all markets put together. What used to happen, 2 markets we used to satisfy and rest markets where they were not satisfied.
Production has got their own priority, and when marketing starts follow up, productions they changes their priority.
तो जब एग्जीक्यूशन करने जाते थे तो फ्लोर पे कभी डिस्पेंसिंग, जब जो बैच का प्लान मटेरियल नहीं है तो वो डिस्पेंसिंग प्लान हो जाता था, फिर हमको डिस्पेंसिंग के टाइम पता चलता था कि इसका मटेरियल।
Then we have to search for the different options, what product we can take in. So at that time also we have to check again its raw material availability.
Now some of the sample which was not been considered as priority becomes priority. We address that. Then the sample which has been set aside becomes another priority on the next day.
Trying to follow a monthly planning system for all the work centers is the real issue. This approach denies variability exists, and that does not work. one needs to develop a solution, first of all, accepting that variability exists and the solution should be built around it. That solution is nothing but intelligent buffering at key points. In the direction of solution, basically the first step is decoupling the departments that are feeding to the overall process. So procurement and QC had to be decoupled.
We have set a target of material inventory in the system. So as and when the order received and material got consumed, so automatically PR got generated.
So earlier we used to clear the sample within 15 days or so, like example, that we are clearing within 7 days time.
We should have a BMR, then specification. It's a full kit.
अभी हमारा वीकली हमने POC प्रोसेस में फुल किट में एक वीकली मीटिंग QA के साथ में डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के इसमें करते हैं, तो उससे हमारा डॉक्यूमेंटेशन और RMPM इसका इम्प्रूवमेंट हो.
From the documentation, raw material available in plant that is in release state. So 3 days full kit now we have.
In the current system, if we see and if we come across any overloading in the routing, then the system prompts us to stop the dispense. We do come across some routes which are underloaded. We try to pull back the orders after discussions with marketing.
BPR is given to all the people. So looking at the BPR only, they understand what is the priority, what is not a priority.
One machine is a bottleneck, and at any point of time that machine should not stop, and we have identified POGI points and implemented so that the productivity has improved.
Through vector flow, it also gives us the idea of if there is any capex required in terms of introduction of additional equipment or even the manpower calculation. Wherever we have introduced POGI for debottlenecking certain operations or certain step of manufacturing, we have achieved around 15 to 20% gain.
At Dahej plant, our output is almost increased by more than 60 to 70%.
In the current situation, the volume has gone up. We have reached to the peak of 20 crore also.
The cost of production, basically the per tablet manufacturing cost has reduced 10 to 15%.
जो लीड टाइम था उसमें जैसे कोटेड को प्री टीओ से हमारा 39-40 डेज का उसमें ये था, अभी मेरा 22 डेज में कंप्लीट हो रहा है.
WIP definitely got reduced there, and FG also, like, because the TAT is got reduced, so cycle time definitely helps us to reduce. Whole time deviation now is completely it's nil. Diaspers have reduced.
Order fulfillment is considerably improved for our US warehouse.
In fact, we have now been told that, okay, Ajanta is like an SOS call. If something happens in the market, okay, this is what it is, and if the product is there in Ajanta's basket, we are the first responder. And mark my word, there were times where we have closed a deal in less than 24 hours time.